Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me with this Facebook Live. It is finally Friday morning, about 10 minutes after 8 o'clock. Some people missed it because they were sleeping when we had some big fat snowflakes coming down in Fargo, Moorhead today. A big change. Of course, our storm tracker weather team forecast the flurries that did fall, and you could see some more throughout the day. Different areas are still seeing it. A great way to track it, of course, that WDAY storm tracker app. We're moving into the season where we do see a little bit of snow. So today, from storm tracker meteorologist Lydia Bloom, cloudy, windy, chilly, and of course a chance again for a few flurries throughout the day. But get that winter gear out because it's definitely starting to feel a little bit more like winters here, although she has told us in her 10-day forecast she does have a slight warm-up, so you don't have to think we're doing the deep dive into winter just yet. Thank you for joining us for this Facebook Live. Remember, you can watch this anytime, of course, on your Facebook feed, but also through InForum's YouTube channel or on your favorite podcast platform. It's a great way to get the news and weather that you need every day. Just visit inforum.com/podcasts and look for the InForum Minute. Some new headlines came into our newsroom overnight. Grand Forks police are investigating right now after a person was hit by a car in the downtown area. It happened right around 11 o'clock at the intersection of Demers Avenue and North 3rd Street. Grand Forks police officers tell us the person was actually trying to cross over Demers, walking, heading north, when that person was hit by a car. Serious injuries, taken to the hospital. The accident is still under investigation, so we'll continue to track that one for you and see if we get more details on what exactly led up to that. This is a scary story for students, for families, parents dealing with this. Scary stuff. Several police departments across North Dakota are investigating a series of fake active shooter calls. It's actually known as swatting. We're working to learn if state troopers will now get involved in this investigation. It's pretty massive. Red River High School in Grand Forks, along with Davies, West Fargo, Jamestown, Bismarck High, they all had reports of an active shooter inside their schools. It happened yesterday. Some of the messages that we're hearing that were sent to the schools or called in, pretty scary, saying that kids had been shot, that kids were killed. Some even got into details about specific classrooms. Scary stuff. But police responded, scrambled to all of those schools. They all turned out to be a hoax. So nothing was happening. So no arrests have been made so far. This was happening in North Dakota yesterday, but you maybe remember that similar swatting situations, phone calls were happening in Minnesota last month as well. So scary stuff. We're going to keep tracking that for you because it affects so many families. Here's a story we've been following for you as well. Deputies are now investigating the death of a 12-year-old boy who was shot by his uncle while hunting in Cass County, Minnesota. They're now calling it accidental. We spoke with the chief deputy in Cass County, Minnesota, who tells us that they are still investigating the death of Jeremy Herr, talking to witnesses both in and outside the family. The state medical examiner, as we reported to you yesterday, did say that the boy had a gunshot wound to the head. A GoFundMe account has been set up for his funeral costs. They were hoping to raise $11,000 to help with the funeral costs. So far, more than $7,500 has been raised. Big story out of the Fargo City Commission. We could find out as soon as Monday if Fargo City Commissioner Dave Piepkorn will be stripped of his title of deputy mayor. Fellow commissioners Arlette Preston and John Strand are actually planning to bring this forward at Monday's meeting. We dug through the memo that they wrote. We found they're proposing this because they say Piepkorn made some controversial comments about Native American people downtown and also the city's engagement center. Strand and Preston say commission members are not meant to be hostile towards anyone in the community. So stay with us. We'll be tracking that one throughout the week next week for you as well. This is interesting. Right now, 2 Minnesota counties are looking for a redo on some of their election ballots. Election workers found mistakes on some of those ballots printed by a vendor for several counties. Kitson and Roseau County are now asking the state Supreme Court what to do. They need to get these ballots fixed. This is what it was. There were no political affiliation marked on the partisan races, and the ballots also did not indicate which candidate was an incumbent. So pretty important information on the ballots there. So far, 25 voters had returned ballots in Kitson County, and 124 had been returned in Roseau County before that mistake was even noticed. How does your water taste? Pretty good? If you think tap water, Fargo's tap water tastes good, well, you're not alone. The city of Fargo actually holds the title now for the best tap water in the state of North Dakota. And it's been a while since they have held that title, 8 years. A panel of H2O judges did a blind taste test of water from across the state. Fargo beat out 7 other competitors. Fargo will now be invited to take part in the national taste test, which will happen in June of next year. Let's move on to some of your national headlines. Today, officials in Raleigh, North Carolina are expected to give an update on a mass shooting that happened there last night. 5 people killed, multiple others hurt. Officials say an off-duty officer died in the shooting, another one was hurt. We do know at least another victim was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries, so we're still working to get more information on that. We do know that right around 9:30 last night, the suspect was taken into custody. All we know right now is that he's a white teenager who's under 18 years old. So you're going to hear a lot about that throughout the coming days for sure. The fishing community just went wild with this story. A lot of people very upset. We have an update right now. Those 2 anglers in Ohio that were accused of cheating to win a professional fishing tournament, they've now been charged. If you don't remember this story, the anglers were caught stuffing weights and fish fillets inside the fish they caught in Ohio, and they won nearly $30,000 for taking first place. Of course, after this cheating scandal, they're now facing charges of grand theft, possessing criminal tools, and cheating. Already, the tournament staff in Ohio took their boat and trailer as part of the investigation. The pair could face up to a year in jail and a $2,500 fine. So that's a big story. A lot of people following that very closely. Some good news this morning for retirees who get Social Security. Next year, you will see the largest increase in your checks in more than 40 years. You'll get about an extra $150 every month. That's because of the annual cost of living adjustment. President Joe Biden announced the 8.7% boost in light of inflation. Okay, lots to talk about besides the fishing scandal in sports. Dom Izzo is in. Of course, Hot Mike is on from 9 to 11 on WDAY Extra, InForum.com. Big game at the Fargo Dome tomorrow. I'm sure they're going to be talking about this again. They have all week. The number 1 versus number 2. We're talking about the Bison and the Jackrabbits. They're going to be playing in the Fargo Dome. Of course, you can catch our pregame coverage. Bison game day starts at 10 tomorrow morning. Our pregame coverage starts at 2:20. The kickoff at 2:30. Also, I thought it was a terrible game, but Carson Wentz came out on top. I would imagine they're going to be talking about this too. Carson Wentz and his Washington Commanders survived a late charge to beat the Bears last night. So, of course, there's been a lot of controversy between Carson Wentz and his head coach with things that were said earlier in the week. So, a win for Carson Wentz. Be sure to tune in today. Dom Izzo, the sports crew with Hot Mike on WDAY Extra. And if you're on InForum.com, a great story you should check out. The Moorhead School Board candidates clash over book banning, and council contenders discuss the future. That story on InForum.com. And remember, you can find all of these stories, your weather too, your sports, at InForum.com right now for 99 cents a month for your first 3 months. You can get an all-access pass to InForum.com. Have a great day, everyone. Remember, we have that 11 a.m. newscast here in just a couple hours, and then 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10. Have a great day.